They been on their ass, bitch, I'm on the rail. I wrap it, I bag it, I pack it for sale. Got feeling on speed out, hit me to chill. I give it a thrill, I put it on film. Niggas facade, get applaud, that ain't real. Come to my section and flex, we can tell. I got a show and she dipping them nails. I'm flipping my L's, I know they can tell. I did it too major, they hit me for favors. Been him since the cable was cut in the crater. What's up, only right that I do it. Colossal until I'm a boss, so they want me to fail. Look, we prevail. Tell them to point out who said it, they run it. Bitch, I'm on your tail. Know that they talking, they telling them tales. Just know how to tell, that shit for the sale.
Honestly, I know it's hard to believe, but you have to trust me. It's got maximum taste and zero sugar.
Stop playing games, wooden boy.
No, I'm a real boy.
Pepsi Max. Maximum taste, zero sugar. Try and believe.
What do you see here? Maybe history, or maybe it's the future.
Amarti mi consola. Amami ancora. Fallo dolcemente. Un anno e mezzo, un'ora.
Tonali plug-in hybrid, a new charge of sportiness.
Good day, everybody. How we doing? Mr. Flynn back at it again for some awesome commentary today on Ultimate Masters. As always, joined by the lovely Mike, just to put some notes on the board for today. Camera is unfortunately not working today, or not responding to me at all, so you're going to have to deal with my lovely face on some random body. So there we go, but credits to VJ for sorting that out at the start of the season. So that was a backup plan in case I had any webcam problems, but no, that's an awesome picture, and big ups to VJ for sorting that one. Mike, today we're at Singapore. The lovely track, as everyone knows, Marina Bay Street Circuit. You know, a very interesting new layout. So no more tight or twisty, narrow corners, especially the bridge section now. That's completely gone in Sector 3. So let me know, Mike, what are your thoughts on this track? And starters, how are you doing today?
I am doing absolutely fantastic. Definitely looking forward for this one. And yeah, as you mentioned, the layout changes to the Singapore circuit. I mean, we've seen it way back when it used to be the old chicane in Sector 2, I believe it was, just before you go over the bridge, which of course they removed for a bit more of a sweeping corner. But yeah, I mean, changes once again. It's going to promote a bit more overtaking, I think, in our final sector. And we could be seeing a lot of action here tonight.
Yes, that is very true indeed, and that's what, of course, we love to see action every single time when we're streaming for Ultimate Masters, especially for a street circuit, but probably not a challenging circuit anymore, as we, like I said, the layout a little bit different now, so you've got a lot more, you could say, straights with overtaking opportunities, so this track could be a little more easier and more forthcoming for overtakes, but nevertheless, let's get through some notes before we get into the lobby and get everybody going. So some interesting news, Mike, about some leagues and teams, and that Relentless will serve a race ban and a qualifying ban, which isn't really helpful for Relentless to fight their way in the constructors. That might help out X Esports, you never know. And something that's interesting to note as well, that CPI will be serving a quali ban. So that's interesting to note as well. So we're going to keep our eyes on that and see what happens with CPI today and where they can finish at around about Singapore. And some team called ASAC will not be racing today, unfortunately. But nevertheless, we'll quickly go on to the team standings then. There they are. I believe it's CPI lead the way ever so slightly by a far amount. So, Mike, if you want, take us through the lovely team standings.
Okay, so currently after 7 rounds in the championship, it is CPI Esports who lead the way on 263 points. And of course, we got Relentless in second place on 213 points. So 50-point gap between the top two. In third place, we have X Esports currently on 187 points. LR Development sitting down in fourth place on 135 points. 130 points for the fifth place team as TTL Esports. Then, of course, we got Team Velocity on 123 points. In sixth place, LRN Esports on 108 points in seventh. ERT Elite Racing Team on 105 points in eighth place. Optic Racing Team currently in ninth on 84 points, and then Team ASAC rounding up the back of the field on 46 points. So very tight in the midfield, and it could get very tight at the top because obviously, as you mentioned, CPI having to serve a quali ban, Relentless having to serve a quali ban and a race ban here. It's looking mighty promising for X Esports to really close up that gap in this championship.
It is, and that's what's very, very exciting, because if X Esports get a really, really, really good result here, they could possibly, I would say, probably steal P2 in the constructors. Maybe P1 is out of the far reach for them, but like you said last round, we don't know what to expect, so it could dramatically change, and X Esports could just go all in and somehow steal P1 in the constructors, but who knows? We never know. But after this race, Mike, it's only 2 more rounds. How crazy is that? I'll tell you what, this season, for Season 2, it's absolutely flown by, hasn't it? Like, it has.
It has.
It's gone by so quickly. Insane.
It has absolutely funded by all in all, but see, as you mentioned, only 2 rounds left after this one tonight, and of course, first place picking up 30 points, second place picking up 25 points, and you get a point for pole position and fastest lap, maximum of 57 points for a race. So there's still, I believe, 171 points up for grabs. So there we go. That's quick math for Iverbryn Mike right there.
Well, we do love the quick maths to say that, Mike. You know, you do come very handy, especially when the racers win the race, and then you're quickly doing your calculations saying, oh no, it's CPI that's taken over, oh no, it's X Esports that have taken over P2. You know, your calculations come in very handy dandy. But what I'd like to know, Mike, this track is Singapore, as I said earlier on, new layout, so a little bit different than F1 fans and drivers would expect. What do you think of the new layout? Do you think it's more promising for... Obviously, overtakings are a lot more, what's the word, easier, shall I say, around the track, but what are your thoughts on the new layout?
Well, here's the thing. So obviously, in terms of the previous layout, of course, in the final sector, there used to be a grand total of 23 corners around this track. It's now down to 19 corners, so they've removed 4 corners in total. It's very, very intriguing. I personally think at some point, do you know the DRS straight going down into turn 14?
Oh, yeah.
After the hairpin?
Yeah.
I have a feeling that eventually that DRS straight will be changed, and you may get a DRS straight down in towards turn 16 now.
I mean, that's not a bad idea, you know. It's a little bit bigger, so I can see why I'd want to be switched. But yeah, that's not a bad idea, you know. Maybe you have to become a FIA member for the real life F1 and go and say, okay, we need to change this straight and do it from 14 to 16, not 13 to 14. There you go. There you go.
Unfortunately, they would never allow me such responsibility. I am very irresponsible at times.
Well, anyways, I'm sure you're not, you know. Anyways, then, so I've just been looking in the Discord. I've been nosy, and I've been told there's rain. Could that be a key factor today? Rain at Singapore. Obviously, that's known, but what we're thinking for drivers, like any driver on the list you can see right now who's decent in the rain, you would say. I think, I believe it's, in my books, I think it's Volcano, and is it Wessel that are good in the rain? I know an Aston Martin's good in the rain, but I don't know if they're here today. No, they're not. The driver I was thinking,
we've got Fox Blue and Guyton in tonight for X Esports. They're both pretty handy in the wet, I think, but Lucas about to get himself underway for a lap if you want to take us through. Actually, he's
Oh,
coming into the
never
pits.
mind.
Never
He's
mind.
bailed. He's back into the pit lane. So we'll go on board with a Mercedes of manned as the final turn here at Singapore. Number lovely 19 DRS about to be open, and there it is. The start and finish coming across now to start a lap here at Singapore. How we're going to get on into turns 1, 2, and 3. You know what? Not too bad. Obviously on the track, I'm not invalidated. So that's a good start to the lap, and no mistakes here and there. A little bit of marbles on the tyres, so grip maybe a little bit marginal, but on the exit there of the lovely turn of number 5, DRS now all the way to turn 7. A massive straight for your first dose or second dose of DRS. Now into the technical corners now, where you want to do some trail braking into the door, into this right-hander of turn number 8. Turn number 9 now. There's going to be no DRS here just yet, but one thing about Singapore, if you get it all wrong, you're going to be in the wall, which is obviously not ideal. But now, turns 10, 11, 12, and then 13, your little hairpin section, you want to get this to absolute perfection and not lock up and go straight on. But there you go, man, and that Mercedes absolutely flying right now, and doing that to superb. So no major issues, as I can see. Obviously purple in sector 2, the first driver to set a banker here at Singapore. So when he crosses the line, drivers in for benchmarking another time to go, you know what, let's see if we can try and attempt to beat that. So in sector 3 now, turns over 16 and 17, that's going to be 18 and 19, of course. No technical section in sector 3 anymore. No bridge chicane, you could say. But here we go then. It's a 129.3, and that's a very good lap time to start here at Singapore. Obviously, times are going to be a little bit different from the old layout because obviously it's been changed, so it's a lot quicker to get around the circuit. But both Mercedes 1 and 2, but P1 a 128.9. That's not a bad gap from his teammate. That's the gap of around about 4 tenths. That's absolutely crazy. And then LNR, Kaz, I think is how you say it, in the Alpine, has done a 129.4. Anybody else on the lap right now? I can see that Kaz Nova is on the lap, but he's invalidated, so won't be setting anything in the house right now.
Yeah, we've also got Gaiden also on the lap. So he's coming to the line right now, and he goes on provisional pole with a 28.1. Absolutely smashing the provisional pole time set by Chris.
That was superb from the Aston Martin driver there. But here comes Manga up to the line. It's P2 a 128.8, and then we had an AlphaTauri across the line, but I believe they're starting a lap.
Volcano.
And anybody else we can find, Mr. Mike? Anybody you can see right now? I think Monkey's on a lap. Yes, he is. What's he going to do around the final corner? Up to the line. It's a 129.1 to P4. And Alfa Romeo Wessel a 129.0. So that's interesting. Wessel in the top 4 today. So is that something new we're seeing? Because normally he's not in the top 4, is he? He's normally down, like, no offence, but he's normally down in, like, below P10. So I'm quite impressed to see Wessel up in, you could say, the top 5 today.
Well, here's the thing with Singapore. I mean, as you know, this track is one of those tracks where if you hook it up, you really hook it up. And if you don't, you're in the wall. So this is all about consistency for these drivers. I mean, I'm currently on board with Volcano coming to the middle sector split right now. He needs a big qualifying result here, as he has to be up there battling both XE Sports guys, because his teammate Luca obviously serving that qualifying ban for CPI, and of course Izzat also serving the qualifying ban for Relentless. Only one driver for them in tonight, so Volcano really needs to be up there, and he's coming for the final 2 corners now. To the line will come the AlphaTauri, and it's a 28 for that, so he goes on provisional pole. Perfect start for Volcano.
Yeah, that is a smashing lap time there from Volcano and the AlphaTauri, really helping CPI out today. Obviously, they're serving a quali ban, so one of the drivers will be retired and starting at the back of the grid, which might actually be a good idea here at Singapore, as turn 1 can be a little bit chaotic, shall we say. But on board with the Ferrari driver now on Nath, and making his way through the numbers 18 and 19. Had a bit of a moment there on the exit of 18, and up he comes to the line. What's it going to be? He goes quite wide. Oh, that's pain there. He came around the final turn, came to start and finish, but went a little bit too wide and did invalidate. That was a 129.4, which would have roughly put him around about P10, but that's a bit of a pain, wouldn't you say, Mike? You know, you're on a good lap or something, you mess up at the right last flush, you could say, and then you're done and dusted. That's pain, that is.
Absolutely. That's heartbreaking for Neve coming through the final corner, just drifting a little bit too far wide and picking up an invalidation there. Obviously, in the chat, I mean, one of his ERT teammates, Colin R. Mason, in the chat as well. Senna has just invalidated on his lap. I think he's also on a cooldown lap as well. I saw Cam Rules also invalidate in turn 1. And yeah, I mean, we're starting to see some invalidations. People are taking a little bit too much curb here and there, and it's causing all sorts of problems.
Yeah, and of course, that's not what you want to see. But like you said, right at the beginning of this track, Singapore is one of those tracks where you've got to hook the lap up, or you're going to be in the wall. Like, you're going to be in the wall. If you don't focus, you're going to be in the wall. Trust me. I did a race today. I looked at my phone for no reason why. I just looked down at my phone whilst driving on Singapore, and the next minute I was in a wall. And I was like, oh, well, that's my race done and dusted. So, if you want a tip, don't look at your phone while driving at Singapore. Or Monaco either. Monaco could be quite harsh, shall I say. Probably harsher.
Yeah, Monaco definitely harsher than Singapore, in my opinion. Probably the only thing that can compare to Monaco is probably the castle section in Baku if you get distracted through there.
Yeah, pretty much. But right now, I want to put Nova in that Haas right now for NLR. And they've actually gone purple in Sector 1, which is actually quite interesting and also quite impressive. So we're going to keep an eye on them to see if they go purple in Sector 2, because this could be a new pole sitter right here, right now, which NLR would be very, very pleased and happy with. So on the exterior of the hairpin of turn 13, DRS now enabled for the hash driver down to 14 we go. And then he's going to be in the territory of Sector 3, but it's no purple Sector 2. So this could be a mid-base lap, so we'll keep on board with them as it's going to be their first benchmark lap, as I believe they did invalidate somewhere on the track. I can't remember where, but I think it was close to where they were ending their lap. But on the exit then of 18 and then the lovely 19, DRS enabled up to the line. What's it going to be for the Haas? It's P3. It's a 128.3, and Haas 3rd and 4th today. That's a really good result for NLR so far. So that's really impressive. So they'll be very, very, very pleased with that one.
Yeah, and of course, with NLR, obviously, they're only 5 points ahead of TTL, so outscoring TTL is their prime objective here tonight, to try and make sure that they can keep that gap and keep a hold of P4. Maybe even try and close up to the guys at the top, because mathematically it's still possible they can close up, but it is going to be a long haul of the final 3 rounds and really try and close up. But it is possible. As I'm on board with Chris coming through the final corners now. He's coming to the line in the Mercedes, and he splits the 2 NLR drivers.
That's pretty impressive there. P4 for the driver, 128.8. That's not bad. So we're seeing quite a close gap. You know, we're seeing drivers in the 129s or the 128s, which we want to see really. But the gap, roughly all drivers are within a second. And I was actually riding aboard a man there. I believe they were on their second hot lap around this track, and they improved by 0.4, I believe, and did a 129.0. So almost in the 128. So if they go for a 3rd lap, if they do, they'll be quite happy to know that they could be in the 128s on the next lap.
Gaiden!
Wow!
27.7 from the XE Sports driver. Puts himself 3 times clear of Volcano up there right now. And Fox is also on a lap as well. He's a 10th up in the 1st sector. We'll see what we can do in the middle sector. Henke up into P3 as well.
Oh, this is absolutely insane right now, what we are seeing on the track here under the floodlights of Singapore. Absolutely crazy. You know, Henke, like you said, it was his first lap here at Singapore. He set a benchmark and he's already gone P3 at 128.1, so much more improvement to be done. But here comes Fox around number 19 then. DRS open to the line, and it's P number 6, only a 5/10 improvement, and it's a 128.4. So maybe you could be on his something tonight, Mike, you know? Maybe you're on the site. Maybe X Esports could be using this chance potentially to close the gap to I can't say the word. I might need you to
Relentless.
say it. Yeah, that word, relentless. I don't know why, but my yeah, we'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it. One of those days where my voice doesn't want to pronounce relentless. Now I won't even say it. So I might need you to say that word if we come across that team. So codename will just be R. There we go. Codename R.
Just think of what this track represents. It's relentless driving. That's what this track
It's true.
represents. So just think of that, and then you'll remember.
I'll try to. If my vocal cords allow me to pronounce relentless. For some reason, it's not allowing me to right now. So we'll see what happens later on. As Senna right now starting a second or third lap, I'm not too sure if they're on a fresh set of tyres, and they're not. They're on 2-lap old soft tyres.
No, he's on fresh.
Oh,
He's
no,
on
no,
fresh.
no,
You had it
he's
on
on
best.
fresh. So that's me flicking to the wrong page as usual. So Mr. Flynn, pat on the back. Well done there, my friend. Anyways, then the Ferrari driver in P13 at the moment wants to hopefully improve a little bit more here at Singapore tonight. You know, in the tricky section now of turns 10, 11, 12, and then 13, the hairpin section now. Of when you exit the hairpin, you actually get a lovely dose of DRS, but you've got to make sure that car balance is decent on exit. Otherwise, when you open that DRS and you're probably not straight and you're halfway facing forwards on the track, you could be looking at a wall or potentially spinning out another driver and then taking a driver with you into the wall, which wouldn't be ideal. But let's see what they can do. I've been on board with them so far, and their laps have been pretty decent as they enter 15, 17, and 18 and 19 as usual. On the exit of 19, you get DRS before the start and finish straight up to the line. What's it going to be? It's P9. An 8/10 improvement. Almost a second improvement. That's crazy. A 128.8. All drivers, almost everybody in the 128s.
Yeah, only drivers outside of the 128s right now. Manduka is on an out lap, so he's going to be looking to break into the 28s now. Both ORT drivers in Rodwell and Cam Rules. Not a very competitive lap time from Cam Rules thus far. He is over a second and a half off the back of his teammate, which is a good 2 seconds off the back of the pack. Maybe close to 3 seconds, actually.
Yeah, that is very true, and that's a good thing you post that in the chat. Any early predictions? At the moment, Mike, this might sound quite shocking, but I don't have any early predictions right now. I can't think of any. I don't know if you can. I physically can't.
Well, here's my early predictions for this race. Obviously, in terms of qualifying, I think we're going to get times falling down to a mid to low 27s. I think Gaitan's got a few temps left in him. I think Volcano's got a few temps in him. So we'll see how they get on. Volcano's actually just started a lap time. So he's on a fast lap right now. So we can jump on board with him as he's coming through turns 1, 2, and 3 right now. And yeah, I think Paul will be around a 27.4 maybe.
Ooh, saying that Volcano slightly hit the wall there. I don't know if you saw that. Exit turn 5, it's like he smacked the wall there. Not too sure though.
Yeah.
It could have been my game, but that looked like he
Still
definitely
10th
hit
up.
that. But he's a 10th up, like you said. That's impressive. Even if he hits the wall like Max Verstappen, he's still on a flyer right now. So, Mike, take it away. What can he do here at Singapore as Gaitan has retired in the pit lane?
Yep, coming through the Singapore sling right now, on board with Volcano as he crosses over the bridge into the hairpin of turn 13. Going to be looking for good traction on the exit. Car's getting out of his way as he opens DRS to run down to the middle sector split. And of course, the next braking zone of turn 14. 2.5 temps up, and this is on course to beat Gaitan's lap time. So we're going to see if he is going to be capable of doing that as we fly down towards turn 16. Braking around 75 meters out there on board with Volcano, but little bit too deep on the entry, and that's compromised him slightly in the final sector. But to the line will come Volcano, and it's going to be a 0.6. Volcano puts it on pole position as it currently stands, but with 17 seconds left in the session, will we see anyone challenge her?
To be honest, I don't think we will, but you never know. So let's see what happens tonight on the track. Let's try and catch anybody that could be close. I know one of the Mercedes in P11 are about to round the final corner. Chris right now, and he's going to be down this time and finishing P11, which isn't ideal. Nathan
next.
in that Ferrari. He's not set a lap time yet, so a slide out of there, a mighty slide out of turn 17 in there, smack of the wall of 18, but he only goes P7, a 128.6. Anybody else you can see, Mike? I think Fox has come to the line. What's he going to do?
Fox to the line, and he's going to go up at the P4, 28.1, and that's big as we got a Haas of Casanova now to the line. Marginally up in the middle sector, but can he find time in the final? He can, and he gets himself ahead of his teammate.
Henke is coming into the pit lane now. They have done and dusted. They're going to be finishing and hopefully wanting P3 by the end of this result. Westall has invalidated, so they won't be starting another lap, or they won't be finishing another lap time. There's an Alpine crossing the line of LNR Kaz. No, that's not a lap. Confused. I wasn't.
No, I think that was
definitely Williams. So, we've got teamwork here at LNR tonight. That was Kaz giving a tow to his teammate, a Monkey. So let's see a Monkey.
Mango
maybe.
P3.
Oh, that's an impressive lap time for Mango, but Monkey doesn't improve on the lap time. And Volcano into the pit lane, and wait for Volcano and Man to get into the pits, and then we can start the race. Obviously, get tyres sorted. But what a lap from Volcano. Really, really good lap time. And that really helps out CPI when serving a quali ban. Luca in P16, he's got a lot of work to do tonight. But Volcano doing the team proud for CPI tonight. Mega.
Yeah, absolutely. Volcano doing an absolute stellar job, as you would expect. He's always up there scrapping out for the top honours when it comes to racing in Ultimate Masters this season. But in terms of the way it's looking, Gaiden is looking very competitive. But I'll let you run through the order here for qualifying.
Well, without further ado, I shall. So, obviously, Volcano and Gaiten, Volcano 1, Gaiten 2, but the gap is only 71 thousandths of a second. So that's very close to lap time, but Volcano just managing to get the perfect lap here at Singapore and taking provisional pole for now, as we've got the race very, very shortly in around about a couple of minutes, as drivers got to get their tyres sorted and stuff like that. Mango P3, Henke P4, P5 to Fox, Casanova P6, Nath in P7, Mand in P8, Kaz in P9, Wessel in P10, and then 11th down to the lovely 15. Roughly not within a second, but not bad lap times. But obviously this track is quite challenging if you, like you say, Mike, you can't hook up the lap time, you won't get the best lap time. So you still got a race. So I believe they've got, 31 laps around this track. So they've still got time to sort out, get in the groove, get in the game, and get a good strategy. But obviously we know at Singapore, a very high tyre deg track. Are you expecting to see soft tyres, or are you expecting to see more of the hard tyres than the medium tyres? What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. So, obviously, in terms of the previous layout and that, the medium-hard strategy, or the hard-medium strategy, was the strategy to be on. So, I'm not sure how much of a benefit it has changed with the new layout in terms of how the soft tyres run. Because usually they only last around 5 laps max, and then they've completely fallen away. Are we going to see it maybe go to like lap 7 now? Because there's less strain in that final sector. I'm not entirely sure, but what we could see though is a fair few safety cars. So that is something to weigh up as well. And as was mentioned earlier, the possibility of rain, and it looks dry out there on track right now, so the rain will be coming a bit later as we go to those 5 red lights to get us underway here in Singapore. Lights are out and we are racing here. 31 laps awaiting these drivers as the lights are out and they are underway as Volcano challenging around the outside of Guyton there. As Mango's trying to follow through as well. You got Henke, Casanova and Fox Blue in behind, scrapping it out.
There we go. Done and dusted so far for a nice tidy turn 1. Volcano managing to get the jump and what he needed to take P1 for now. But Guyton very close behind now. Down into turn 7 and 8. Guyton going aggressive on lap number 1. There's still wheel to wheel. They're still going to hang it. He's going to try. He tried to, you know, and that was quite impressive. He's going to get that move done. But Volcano having more, what shall we say, more grip on those tyres and better exit out of that turn number, you could say 7 and then 8. So that was mighty clean and quite impressive there. But Casanova ever so close to the rear wing of Henke, but Henke not doing too bad so far. Not many positions, I say jolting forwards and backwards, but Wessel finally getting past Senna up to P9.
Big mistake. It was a big mistake from Wessel locking up into the hairpin. That's, I believe, Manduka down the inside of Senna. Contact between the pair of them.
That was contact, and I thought it was about to end up in tears, blood and sweat, but hopefully, and fingers crossed it didn't for now, but here we go then. Cam trying to be aggressive on man now in that Williams that gets up into P12. So Williams working together and slowly getting up the grid, but there's a spicy battle happening behind a gaggle of cars. And the more they keep fighting, the more they will lose to the Mercedes up ahead. As that Red Bull right now in P14 on those hard tyres has got some work to do. And Luca still sitting in P16 on those medium tyres and has got to make his way through that field quickly. If there's drivers on those hard tyres, there's only going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers on the hards and 1 Williams racer on the soft compound tyre.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that has changed, obviously, from the previous layout to this one, is the need to run a bit more of a slipperier car in the straight line, because obviously that now has turned into another straight where potentially you can get an overtake done. So I wonder how much this has actually changed the setups of these drivers, going from the old layout to this layout.
I'm not too sure, but so far, maybe it's a bit of a weakness for some drivers. I can see some drivers are struggling on the track to get used to the new layout, you know, like sometimes when you exit the hairpin, you'd normally right now be going to the right-hand side, but I see some drivers drifting to the right-hand side, then pulling back to the left as quick as they can because they keep forgetting it's not the old layout, it's the brand new layout. So maybe pace is affected by some drivers, as we're going to get Nate having a bit of a fight now with Wessel, trying to send up the inside, and he does send up the inside. A move you don't see there, but we might see there now throughout the foreseeable future of 16 and 17. Wessel sending it up the inside there, cheeky inside move up to P8, but that Ferrari might come back down into turn 1. We'll find out very, very shortly as DRS is enabled, so the Ferrari should get DRS on the exit of turn number 3 and 4, but won't be enabled till turn number 5. So that's not too shabby and not too bad there, as all the drivers up in the top 6 make their way down to turn number 7 with DRS activated. And quite impressed and quite surprised that Guyton didn't really catch Volcano much there, even with DRS enabled.
Yeah, I think Guyton wanted to get past Volcano ASAP because he knew he had to be ahead of the CPI driver. But just looking at the ERS usage between the pair of them, I mean, Volcano is sitting very comfortable right now.
Yeah, he is indeed. So he is literally just vibing and just chilling. But I am looking in the chat, and we have missed something, Mr. Mike, which we didn't catch, which is quite interesting. So we have to keep an eye on one of the Mercedes drivers, apparently moving under braking from the Merc, which we didn't catch or didn't realise on the stream. So moving under braking sounds a little bit cheeky, doesn't it?
I mean, moving under braking is just, it's not good sportsmanlike conduct, especially when you're racing. It's on the back of Cam rules by you. But, yeah, I mean, it's up there with the likes of what's called just blocking for the sake of blocking, making multiple defensive maneuvers. As here comes Izzat now on
here he goes.
Inside. Job done for the relentless driver up in the P12. He goes on those hard tires.
On those hard tyres, making excellent progress up and through the grid. That's insane. Like, you would think at this point on lap number 4, mediums would be the faster tyre, but nuh-uh. It's the hard compound which is showing race pace at the moment. Something I do know about Singapore, though, is when I race around this track with my friends or from league racing, I do find in particular that the hard tyres are better than the mediums for race pace. Are you the same, Mike, or are you different? So are you like, are the mediums better for you instead of the hards? But when I'm racing, the hards are better than the mediums, which always sounds a little bit weird.
The hards are the better race tyre to be on in terms of longevity in the race, but the mediums, obviously on the previous layout now, you really want to take them around 10, 11, 12 laps maybe, and then chuck on a set of the hards to the end. So, like, mediums are good, but probably better for later on in the race when there's less fuel in the car and you got a bit more rubber on the track.
Oh,
but
yeah, 100%.
The hards, in my opinion, are definitely the better race tyre to be on.
Yep, I wouldn't disagree with you anymore. But what I'm seeing right now is the top 6 are running away. P7 to P6, a 2.1, shall I say, a second gap right now. So P7 struggling to keep with the top 6. If it keeps going this way, the top 6 could run away and do a mega, you could say undercut or overcut, you never know. But someone's in the pit lane already on lap number 5, and it's Cam in that Williams. He's in to the pits. ORT, not a good result at the start of the race for them, so hopefully they'll be hoping for a safety car. A front wing change as well onto the hard tyres. Meh, they could make up some positions, because obviously we know on this game the undercut is very, very aggressive and very more likely to happen than an overcut, which is interesting, but that's the way the game's done. And that's how it shall be done. Anyways then, looking on the back of Luca, up into P15 now, so making slight, slow but steady progress, which you'll be very, very delighted and happy with. And something we've missed, Mike, is the top 3. Guyton has lost DRS to Volcano, and Volcano right now cruising and running away. A 1.2 second gap. Not a massive gap, but with no DRS around this track, Guyton could struggle to defend from Mango behind.
Yeah, it looks like Volcano has used a lot of his ERS to get away here, and he has managed to do so. Guyton has tried to use all of his ERS to come back at Volcano, and he is now under pressure from Mango in behind now.
That is not what you want to see on only lap number 6. Some drivers on about a quarter to half a battery, and then there's one driver in P2 with no battery. So maybe the Aston Martin could be under humongous pressure as we make our run down to turn number 7 now with DRS enabled. That Haas isn't burning any of the battery, but that gap is getting closer and closer and closer. It's 5 tenths, it's 4 tenths, it's 6 tenths. Whatever the trouble is going to be, he's within a second. So he stays within a second. He'll be catching the car ahead. As we see, is that, I think that's how you say the name. The Red Bull driver now up into P10. Of course, the point system is a little bit different here at Ultimate Masters. If you're brand new to watching the stream, if you are, hello, how you doing? Or welcome on in. Every driver will score a point, which may sound a bit confusing because obviously we don't do Drivers' Championship. We're only focused on the Constructors, which will be crowned the champion in the next last 2 races, or it could even be the next race, Mike, or it could even be this race. If CPI have a good result today, you never know. You might have to get your calculations ready. So pressure's on, Mike. Pressure is on.
For CPI to take the race, the championship here tonight. Right, so 2 races.
Here he goes. Calculations happening. He's got his pen and notebook.
A gap of 114.
Oh,
a gap of 114. Obviously, they have a gap of 15. They have a gap of 50 right now.
Yeah.
They need 114 to, 115 to absolutely, like, mathematically take it out of question. But 114, I think they'll have it because they've had more race wins this season.
That is very, very true. And right now, looking at P9 and P8, That Ferrari is all over the back of Wessel, and Wessel may be under pressure as the Ferrari looks like he's smacked the wall there on the exit of 5. But here comes the Ferrari down to turn 7. Is he going to go for lunge? He is, and he's going to back out of it and wait for another time to get the move done, as Wessel had a massive moment there. Senna is putting pressure on that Williams and gets through. And oh, wow, look at that Mercedes.
Monkey.
Through comes Mand. And look again, that Alpine trying to make a move. And Luca.
Oh, Luca!
Oh my goodness, that is not what you want to see. If C Pry wanted to take the potential constructor win today, they have to score as many points as they possibly can. But with Luca making that marginal mistake, luckily, it looks like he has no damage. How on earth he has no damage? That is insane. And I'm absolutely surprised. I've realised we've got time penalties as well of 3 seconds. That's going to be for track limits, and there's still battling going on between these two of Mand and Senna right now. It's still going on.
Gaiden has managed to get himself back within DRS range.
Oh my goodness, he has. I didn't even realise. Too focused on the battle behind. He's managed, and he's actually dropped Mango behind as well. Can you imagine? Mango's 1.8 seconds behind. So Volcano must have had a moment somewhere, potentially. And that Williams ahead can really help Volcano as well. Give him DRS to defend from Guyton behind if Guyton is looking to make an attack.
I think the thing that's happened there for Guyton is the fact that because he was down below 10% anyway, he was trying to use it through any corner possible to try and gain back time on Volcano. And Volcano hasn't really used a huge amount, but we're seeing the tyres begin to slip away from Guyton as he's trying to close up to the back of Volcano. So maybe a small indication of how the DRS was lost in the first place.
That is very true, and there's more fighting for 14th and 13th now. Oh, a bit of wheel banging contact there between those two drivers. Oh, the Alpine almost in the wall there. So drivers starting to get their elbows out, which could be a little bit marginal, but nevertheless. And we're under safety car. Someone has lost their wing. Someone's lost their wing. I've seen someone's lost a wing. I don't know who it is though. One driver's lost the wing, but I don't know who. Oh, it's the Ferrari in P10. It's Nath. He's had a moment in the hairpin section of... Oh, I think it's the hairpin section. I think it was turn 10, 11. Yeah, 10 and 11. And, yeah, he's had a moment, and he's lost his wing, and that's right, a safety car. Ooh. And Volcano's in the pit lane. Guyton's in. Mango's in. Henke's in. Casanova and Fox coming in, so Aston Martin looking to double stack if they're not too close. Fingers crossed. I'm going to keep my eye on Guyton as he's entering the pit lane. Fox now into the pit lane. Is Guyton going to be able to run away? And he does. So double stack here at Aston Martin is going to be to perfection. And the pit lane, very, very busy. Is anyone going to have to suffer, and will anybody get held up in the pit lane?
Well, I believe NLR, of course, being very close to each other in terms of time, probably got held up a little bit, but not enough to really lose out here. Cass has managed to get himself ahead of Fox Blue, so that was a small little hold that Fox Blue had to suffer, and of course it has cost him a position here in the race. That's Russell coming out ahead of Izzat, so that stays as it is. Nathan's going to be pulling it back, but what this actually does is actually allows Cam Rules to get himself back into this race, because Cam was almost a lap down before the safety car came out.
Yeah, pretty much. So we will see what happens. But I'll say what, Mike, I've never seen a busy pit lane in my life, especially at the new layout of Singapore. So everybody on a new fresh set of tyres. So the only driver not to stop is Senna. 8-lap-old hard tyres, yet to stop. Now, everybody on lap number 8 boxed for obviously a set of hard tyres. They should be fine to go to the end, but can mediums go to the end is the big question.
From here, you will definitely be risking puncher territory by the end of this race, but as mentioned earlier on, we could be seeing rain towards the end of this, so you never know. The mediums could be working.
Let me see if we've had any updates in the Discord from potential updates on rain. Let me have a look. I can't see anything else. All I see, obviously, is Westall saying rain in the caps at 8:03 here in the UK when we started qualifying. So potential. We'll have to see what happens. As the Ferrari's in the pit lane, I believe that is going to be Nath. So is he damaged or something?
I think he's putting on a set of hards.
Also a set of mediums. Interesting. I didn't expect that one, so we'll move on and pretend we didn't see anything. And
moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So there's a bit of a, not a gap, but there's a car in between Volcano and Guyton at the moment. That is going to be Senna on the older tyres on the grid right now. One driver not to box, so he's probably hoping for the rain to come at any moment very, very shortly. But when would rain likely to hit Singapore? Because right now it's looking fine, because obviously with this track at Singapore, it's night time. We can't really tell. We're only going to see the rain if it starts spitting on the track, right? There's no other way we can indicate if there's rain on the track, because it's night time. We can't see the sky. We can't see the clouds.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like being in the film Pitch Black. You can't see anything up there in the sky.
Pretty much. But let's see what happens. And I'll tell you what, this safety car will really, really, really help Luca, as he had that moment, didn't he? And luckily he didn't get damaged, but he's now had a second chance to be brought back into the race. So he's got a lot of work to do to get around some drivers to overcome that. ORT Cam, who boxed earlier on lap number 5, he's got a lot of work to do now down in P17, but he's been given and redeemed another second chance. He's quite behind the safety car queue at the moment, so we could get racing at Singapore on lap number 12, because by then Cam should have caught up, but it could be in this lap, you never know. And never mind, I am wrong. Mike, take it over to the car restart, as you are a phenomenal mind reader. Over to you.
Okay, so we have Volcano backing up the pack now in the final sector. Of course, unfortunate for Cam Rules, he won't be able to catch the rest of the grid. So, heartbreak for the ORT driver. But Volcano's, he's already gone. He's caught Senna absolutely napping. Guyton is absolutely fuming with this.
Go for it.
He needs to get past Senna ASAP down the inside in towards turn number 1 goes Guyton. Job done. And look at Mango.
Wow.
Mango sending it through as well. And Henke, this is absolutely kicked right off here on the restart. Senna completely out of sync with everyone in terms of tyre life, and he's absolutely paying for this. Everyone sending it left, right, and centre. Cass now on the back. Izzat is on the back of Cass. Fox Blue down to 9th place. As here comes Cass. Cass around the outside. Job done. What is Izzat going to do? Izzat is going to look to the inside. He is. He's down the inside. Oh, Senna's been absolutely swamped on this restart.
He has indeed. Mango was a contact. There was contact between the Red Bull, the Aston Martin, and Wessel. Could have wing damage, or they could have avoided that. Fingers crossed. But Wessel trying to get past the Aston Martin, but it doesn't have the space. But obviously, because it's a tight circuit, and there's more contact between the Aston Martin and the Alfa Romeo. Cam's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings that are B for going on and off the track. But like you said, Senna absolutely swallowed on that restart.
Honestly, absolutely, like everyone understanding what they need to do to try and take this win, and not wanting to allow an out of sync car in the Scuderia Ferrari
on Fox.
Fox and Dustwest all there side by side, and honestly, Senna has really hindered Fox Blue here, because
he really should have boxed, shouldn't he?
Well, here's the thing. So Senna stayed out for some reason, but Fox Blue has been the biggest loser of this, because obviously he's behind Izzat and Swezzle now.
That is very true. And going back to that safety car restart, as we saw Mango sending up the inside as well. Do you think... Oh, was the Ferrari almost lost the back end there and almost caused another safety car, but Nath, incredible save there. But as I was saying, did Mango force Senna off the track there?
It was definitely a big old lunge, and Senna goes deep, and there's Rodwell going through, as is Chris. And these guys need
Yeah,
to be
damage.
careful. The two.
Could he have damage from the mango contact, do you think? Could it really be damaged? But I don't see any damage on his front wing. Is he just really struggling on those tyres? Or there's no way those tyres can be dead. Like, I can understand they've been out for long, but going from P2 all the way to 16 now, surely he must have damage, right? He seems to be struggling ever so much.
Yeah,
ever so
definitely.
much. A lot.
Definitely believe that he has damage on that car. What kind of damage? We don't know. Could it be rear wing damage, perhaps?
Oh, if it is, that is really unfortunate because that would really unsettle and unbalance his car's Volcano at 1:31.3, the fastest time around this track so far. Absolutely insane. But that restart, what a restart we got there. I think that's the best restart of the season. Wouldn't you agree? As Fox is up into P8 now, past Wessel.
Not if you're an ERT fan, it's not so much a good restart there, but if you're a CPI fan, that's a perfect restart.
Yeah. That is a perfect restart. And Noel said, Luke, oh, someone's had a crash. Someone's out.
Relentless.
It's out.
Relentless. Both drivers are out. They're not scoring today. It is now open for XE Sports to close up
Oh
and
my
get
goodness.
P2 in the championship. And now it is possible for CPI to potentially build up enough of a gap that they can wrap up the championship here. Relentless. No one left in this race. And it is all opened up here.
Right then, whilst we're on the safety car, we're going to quickly move and do something a little bit new on the stream today. I'm going to move to the team standings very, very quickly so you can get an understanding of what me and Mike mean between XE Sports and Relentless, how close that gap is. Mike, if you have a look at the standings right now on your phone or stream, whatever you're watching from, XE Sports have a chance. And they need to make it count today here at Singapore. They need to make it count right away.
Absolutely. 26 points between them. And I believe I may have been a little bit misspoken when I said that the CPI could wrap it up here. Because, of course, they are 50 points ahead, and the maximum you can gain from a race is 57. So that'd be 107, which, of course, is not enough to mathematically rule out Relentless in terms of the championship. But the ball has well and truly been swung in CPI's court, because now they can essentially just put it out of reach. Give them absolutely nothing to do for the final two races.
And Ferrari are double stacking here, so I think Senna will get held up ever so slightly as Luca's also into the pit lane. That could be a switch to the medium tyres, which really isn't a bad shout. But XE Sports, if they do a really good job today, could they overtake? Or do they have to score? Obviously, I know Guyton's in P2, so he's scoring good points. What position does Fox need to be in to get really, really, really close to Relentless and possibly overtake them this race, if possible?
Well, if Guyton remains in his position where he is right now, then there's like Luca doesn't need to, sorry, not Luca. Fox doesn't need to do much.
Okay.
Because it's
I can understand that.
25
course.
points, 25 points to second place, and Relentless are 26 points ahead of XE Sports.
I forgot about that part. My brain is a little bit, what shall I say? Misfiring, like an internal combustion engine. It's misfiring a lot today. But if you're just joining us, we had a safety car, I believe, lap number 13, and that was Isaac making a major mistake on the track at Singapore. Had a bit of a crash on the entrance, you could say, to sector 2, and had a spin around about, I believe it was turn number or the banker, right, slight banker of turn 6. Had a moment there, and that is now officially Relentless out of the race, which means XE Sports, like you said, Mike, and we're getting very excited, XE Sports have a chance to nail it in the bag and bring it home. A good result for the team tonight at Singapore, if it goes well for Guyton and P2.
Well, I'm going to say this right now. In terms of the points gap there will be right now, So with Fox in 7th, Guyton in 2nd, they would have a gap of 12 points on Relentless going into the penultimate race next week. So that is what we're currently sitting on. The only way that X Esports cannot jump Relentless here is if, of course, if we see one of them DNF and the other not pick up a race win. That's the only way that happens.
Yeah. That's, yeah, I can understand that, to be honest. But, like I say, we've got to wait till the right, we've got to wait until the very, very end of this race. So, lap time is running out, and everyone on the tyre age of 6 on the hards, 6 on the medium to Westall, or not Westall, sorry, man, 6 on the meads, P12, 6 on the meds, but P13, 14, 16 on fresher tyres than the rest of the grid. Could that be an upper hand to them towards the end of this race, or will the medium tyres run out before the end?
I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, we could be seeing rain towards the end, so we don't know what's going to happen yet. Safety car is coming in at the end of this lap, and another thing I want everyone to keep their eye on as well is the battle between the Haas F1 team and the Alfa Romeo F1 team.
Yes.
Because that is TTL and NRL. There were 5 points separating them coming into tonight's race, and as you can see, P3, P5 for NLR, and P4, P8 for TTL. As Monkey, 5-second collision with Manduka, so heartbreak for him, but we're going to be getting underway shortly as Volcano once again needs to get a restart perfect, but this time he does not have Senna in between himself and Guyton, so Guyton is going to be
very
a lot sharper.
Oh, he's gone. He's reacted.
Oh.
Volcano's gone. That's very early there. And it's a decent restart, you could say, from Guyton. So maybe Volcano a little bit scared now as Guyton's got a really good and decent restart. And there we go. And there's actually moves and positions happening left, right, and centre as Cam. What happened to Cam on the restart? It's an awful moment on the exit at 19. And yeah. That's shocking. Cam with an awful restart. And we've got Jamie in the chat saying, pay attention to new tyre runners at the back could make positions. That is true. And Luca already trying to make a position on the Mercedes. Oh, he was looking. That was very, very close there. Very scary. Very scary moments.
Yeah, I mean, Luca definitely looking the raciest out of all the guys on the new tyres at the back right now. As he's looking to try and get a move done on Chris.
Oh, it's too risky.
Yeah.
Maybe the hairpin could be a good move. Maybe. Possibly. He's close. Oh! Oh no!
That's front wing damage. So Luca, I think Jamie, obviously CPI Jamie in the chat, let us know about drivers with new tyres. He brought the attention on to Luca, and Luca has unfortunately made a big mistake into the hairpin. So I personally, if I'm Luca, I'm blaming Jamie for that.
Yikes, that is big Fs in the chat right now for Luca, who had a moment there in the hairpin section and could have slight wing damage. That could be Luca into the pit lane. It is. And probably just soft tyre now to the end of this race, which might be a bit risky, but it's the best gap you got if you want to start making up positions. We've got a position actually happening for P13 and P12, and that's Nath trying to get around the Mercedes, and he does successfully. Nath up to P12, and now he sets charge to the Williams up ahead. And is he on fresh tyres? He is, and the rest of the grid, so we'll see what he can do and what he can show. He's very, very close to that Williams at the moment. If I speak, I'll be in big trouble, Jamie's saying. So maybe you're right, Michael.
Oh, here comes Nate.
Blame Jamie. Oh, he was looking.
He had a half look.
He's still.
Half look.
Oh. Wowzers.
A good run though from Nate. He could have another look into the Singapore sling again, but much like what we saw with Luca, decides to back out of it. Hopefully now. Oh, he actually hits a wall.
Oh, no.
Making a big mistake. The rear end snapping on him as he hits the wall, and so Chris also getting a bit of rear locking coming into the hairpin. I think the hairpin is causing massive locking up issues for these drivers here, and they can't control it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case, but lap number 17, Guyton on at the rear wing now of Volcano, and Volcano could be under humongous pressure from the Aston Martin behind. He just can't get rid of the Aston Martin, who's now 3/10 behind, and DRS was probably enabled this lap, and it is. So, could Guyton take the lead on lap 18 when we exit turn 5? Could that be a possibility? As he's actually had a moment there. He's had a massive moment, and this could be an opportunity for Volcano to run away, but he's not even burning his battery. He is saving, and he's got so much battery than Guyton at the moment. So much to defend from Guyton, so Volcano could be chilling right now.
Yeah, I think Volcano is comfortable right now. Obviously, no dirty air, no heat going onto the back of onto the front of his car. Obviously, Guyton will have to deal with the dirty air as well as just running in behind, where he's just going to overheat your tyres a little bit more, and that's one thing that we just saw to say, that the small little bit of the lockup there, the back end stepping out on Guyton, because he's following so close behind Volcano. That is the issue. Following around here can be detrimental, as Mango gets a little bit out of shape, and that's going to allow Henke to have a look at him, potentially down into turn, I'm going to say turn 16, because he's not going to be close enough through 14, but gets a good run out here, he could have a look.
Yes, and Jamie in the chat is saying he's still hoping for rain towards the end of this race. So that could be a possibility, with almost 11 laps remaining. And Guyton is now 7/10 behind Volcano. So Volcano trying to, release some pressure and scariness from behind. But so far, he's not able to do it. But like I say, he's just saving that battery. And when he has enough battery, he'll be able to defend from Guyton. If Guyton gets by, he can just use his battery and drain it onto the straights with DRS and get past Guyton again. It's just, it's a no-brainer. But I think Guyton's now starting to save. He's realised what Volcano's up to. As Fox is very, very close to the rear wing of the Alpine. And the Alpine, he moves to the left, he moves to the right. Which way is the Alpine trying to go? And, that was almost Fox off the track. And is that damage? Has he got damage? He hasn't got damage. I thought there was damage between those two, but they haven't. So, Fox just needs to play it safe here and try and stay ahead of Wessel and just try and get a few more Navi positions to really get ahead of Relentless here today.
I mean, as previously mentioned, that obviously as it currently stands, they don't have to do much from this point on. They just need to make sure that they just collect them points, because as long as Guyton can hold on to P2, all Fox has to do is finish the race.
Oh yeah, 100%. If he doesn't finish the race, that's when it could be all tense. And on to France we go next week. The lovely track of France. So what do you think of that track? Could that be an interesting one for overtaking, or what are you thinking?
Circuit Paul Ricard, definitely one that similar to a lot of tracks on this game. Obviously, you need to be so cautious with the 3-second time penalties, because it's so easy to pick them up. Traction so crucial around there as well, and just making sure you have a decent setup, because losing the back end through the likes of turn 11 and 12, for example, definitely is a big possibility in France. So DRS chains as well, plenty there, as Henke losing the back end, closing up to the back of Mango. And yeah, I mean, we're going to have to see what happens. Mango with a 3-second time penalty. He's going to drop now off the podium with that time penalty to his name. Does Mango now try and back up Henke into Casanova? If you're in a lot, is that what you're thinking right now?
I mean, it's the best bet you got, as oh my goodness, like I said, I think that is causing some drivers to rear lock on the hairpin, as Mango, massive moment on the exit of the hairpin there, almost losing the car. I think drivers are struggling with rear locking, Mike. I think you can say that right now, and I can confirm right there, that is true. That is very, very true. So, interesting to see, as Wessel in P8 right now gets a 3-second time penalty, which won't be ideal, as that will drop him a few possibly places.
Yeah, unfortunately for Wessel, and yeah, as I was mentioning with the lockups, this is where things are going to get very tense for these guys. So they're locking up, they're putting unnecessary wear onto those tyres, they're heating them up as well, making the car slippier in some of these corners, and that's just going to cost them bit by bit. And we're seeing Enki closing up to the back of Mango, but unable to get a move done. But this might be the time as he breezes past him with DRS, and now Enki can try and pull away.
Fox off into P6 now. He got past Cass.
That's
and they've
big.
both got no battery as well. Moss leading this train.
Yeah, and that will definitely be a positive thing to hear if you are Dus Wessel in behind, because if Wessel can get himself up ahead of the likes of Fox and Cassia,
Oh yeah.
in terms of the points, I just want to. Oh, he touches the back of Cassie. This Wessel getting very close. So, I'll see. 5 points was the gap between TTL and NRL coming into it. So, just doing a quick little look by here. So, 34, 32 points. So, TTL would close in by 3 points if Das Wessel is able to get himself up in the P6.
Okay, so we'll see what happens. As Nath in that mighty Ferrari. Ooh,
Cass, it's a
wide
big
there.
moment. Cass, big moment for the final
Ooh.
corner, and now he's overtaken by Das Wessel.
And he's got more battery. He's got the battery advantage, so he might even breeze by Fox. And that's a
Mango!
retirement. Mango's out. Mango is gone. What has happened to the hash driver? He is gone. He's still on the track. Interesting. DNF.
I mean, it's a DNF. Obviously, with his car still moving, it counts as a DNF on track. Is it an intentional DNF, though? That's another
Should have a
thing.
look
But
through to make sure it's not a game bug. Let me have a look-see. I can't see anything in the chat yet, so I'm going to keep Discord open to make sure if we get any internal updates, but for now we'll close that and get back to the race. But that is unfortunate for Mango and NLR, losing all of their drivers. There's oh, look at Fox, he's trying to look. Which way is he going to go? We can't find it. As Volcano! Oh my goodness!
that's huge.
That is huge indeed, especially for X Esports. Guyton 2 tenths behind the AlphaTauri man, and right now he's been putting pressure on the AlphaTauri and forced him into a costly mistake.
Hang on.
In the pit lane.
Did both of the NLR drivers come together? Casanova's in the pits for a front wing change. Is that what happened? Did they both come together? Was that teamwork gone wrong?
Not too sure. If there's a engineer, anybody from NLR able to explain what happened, please let us know, because we are quite confused. But that could have been contact between both teammates. But if it was, and I've missed it, or Mike's missed it, because I think we both missed it, do let us know in the chat if anybody knows what's happened there, as Cam gets a 3-second tyre penalty for multiple warnings.
Jamie in the chat saying Volcano will get his time penalty removed, so maybe he got a warning,
nice.
which was a bit unfair. But he has to be tippy-toeing around now because he can't afford to pick up another warning yet.
That is very true, so fingers crossed it doesn't happen to him. As Guyton is around about 6 or 7 tenths behind right now, but he'll have to get the move done very, very shortly as racing laps are starting to run out and those tyres will start to wear off. And P10 and P9 fighting at the moment, and that's going to be ORT fighting with the Ferrari on those hard tyres, but Nath on the fresher tyres, able to make the grip, able to make the speed, able to make the process, and
Cass is around! At the start of the straight, Cass is around!
Oh, he's in the reset the track there as well. Is that going to be a violation in the rules? Because I don't think you're allowed to reset the track, are you? So that could be a slam dunk penalty for Cass there, but I'm not too sure. So we'll see what happens towards the end of this race. But that's a bit of a yikes for NLR. So some teams racing at Singapore, it's not going well for them, is it, Mike? It's getting a bit of a struggle for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And just want to bring this up a sec. So obviously, Volcano. I mean, even though technically he couldn't get his 3-second time penalty removed if one of the warnings is a bit unfair, Guyton's in position to take the win on this circuit now. Fox Blue could be jumping up to P4 because Dust Wessel has a 3-second time penalty as well.
Yes.
So with a potential race win and P4, that is 47 points gained by X Esports. Relentless gaining nothing. That's a 21 point gap that X Esports will have on Relentless going into the penultimate race. And in terms of the CPI guys, obviously they do have a healthy gap over X Esports, but Luca down in 14th. That's only 6 points, and Volcano would be coming home in second. Actually, he'd be coming home in third currently because Henke's still within 3 seconds.
Yeah,
so that'd only be 26 points. So X Esports could be gaining 20 points here on CPA in the championship as well.
Yeah. So let's see what happens. Rain still not here at Singapore yet, so let's see if it will come hopefully very, very shortly. Fingers crossed. But let's see what happens as Volcano right now still in the lead of this race. A 3-second time penalty which will get removed according to Jamie. So he's got to be, like you say, Mike, very, very careful that he does not receive any more warnings. But Mr. Guyton in the Aston Martin has got to get the job done very, very shortly before racing time runs out. But he's just saving the battery at the moment and waiting for the right time to pounce, you could say.
Well, here's the thing. So, obviously, I mean, CPI Jamie has told us he can get that removed. And there's bound to be an engineer in the chat from NLR who would have heard that. So, Guyton's going to wait until the best opportunity to really go for it. Because he is looking pretty decent right now in terms of his ERS and that. But, obviously, DRS is allowing everyone to just save up their battery and continue on. But
oh, yeah.
Guyton needs to time this overtake to perfection now. And he's going to do it at the end of this race, I think.
So let's see what happens. 4 tenths behind. He's putting the attack on. He's going for it. He might do. He is. Battery is on. Volcano isn't burning. Here comes Guyton down to turn 7. He's going for the lunge up the inside. Side by side Volcano. There's contact and Volcano is off the track. Aston Martin still ahead into turn 7.
Oh, into the wall goes Guyton.
Sorry. Oh, that was that a little bit naughty? Was that a little bit cheeky?
I think that was a little bit of tit for tat there because Guyton squeezed Volcano off track and then Volcano squeezed Guyton towards the wall. I think that's a bit of a tip.
They're not fair. It's on the line, but I would say that it's fair. It's, you know, like you say, Guyton pushed him off. Guyton then got karma as Volcano didn't put him in the wall. It was close. It was a squeeze. So you didn't tap the wall. Guyton did it, but it was on the it was on the line for sure. And there's a yellow flag. Someone's round, and that's Nath in P12, and that is a safety car.
And both leaders are in, and so Henke.
Yes, they're in, and it also helps Fox as well. Could get a podium out of this.
Yeah, and they're far enough behind the race leaders that they haven't got to worry about a double stack here.
Imagine it starts raining now and everyone's boxing. How crazy could that be? Can you imagine?
Well, I'll tell you one person who's happy. Well, I mean, he might be happy about this, but he's had to do it again. Is Cam Rules? He gets to unlock and stop again.
Oh, that hurts, doesn't it? That really hurts. That really hurts. Ah, he's got around the whole track again.
No. Chris has stayed out there on 18 lap old mediums, and Monkey stayed out there on 18 lap old hards.
Oh. This could get interesting now.
This could get dangerous.
It could. Be very dangerous.
Right, well, Chris staying out on those mediums means that he can help his teammate Manduka out. Because Manduka is only just behind Fox and Dust Wessel. Wessel has a 3-second time penalty. Fox doesn't. So Chris could do his teammate a good on you. Could do him a solid. Monkey, this could be very dangerous to the likes of Volcano and Gaiten and even Henke here. Trying to take a race win. Monkey could play absolute spoiler in this race, and realistically, he's not going to have the grip to match these guys, and over the course of the race, we've seen he hasn't had the pace to match these guys. So, Monkey is definitely a spanner in the works if you are CPI, Volcano, Gaiten, and Henke.
Yeah. So, let's see what happens. Safety car will be out. Is it one more lap? So in 29? Am I correct saying that, or am I wrong saying that?
I mean, I believe you're probably correct in saying lap 29.
Yeah, we'll go lap 29 then. So, as we crawl around the track of Singapore, this is where it could get intense now. Because Gaiten behind Volcano, but crucially, Volcano is behind another driver. So, if Monkey gets a horrible exit, I could invite Gaiten to go up the inside, around the inside, or around the outside. You never know, do you, Mike? Gaiten could pounce anywhere.
Well,
Pounce
we saw at the
left, right,
start
centre.
yeah, we saw at the start of the race and at the start of the previous restart, Gaiten wasn't afraid to really attack Volcano early on. And Gaiten's going to be more up for attacking Volcano now. Henke is the one to keep an eye on, because Henke could try and follow Gaiten through, and then Volcano could be losing out massively.
Oh yeah, 100%. So we're going to keep our eyes focused on that. But no, this gives Luca. This gives Luca one more chance. It's like a sprint to the end of this race now. It's like a sprint race. But big question is, bless, can Cam and Luca catch the safety car? Can they before it goes in? I think they will.
Maybe.
They're definitely pushing. Have a look, shall we? And they are slowly catching, so that's a positive note to have noted. And the safety car coming through the lovely turns of 15, and then 16, and 17, and it's going to be, yes, one more lap. And it's raining! There is rain! I see rain!
Here we
rain.
go!
Rain, 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 rain! There's rain! Anyone taking the gamble? Anyone taking the gamble? Or is it not? Is
no one will.
Ooh,
No one
here
will.
we go.
It's not going to be. It's not. Oh my god! And we got another lap on the safety car, so it's going to get damper and
It's
damper.
getting intense. Someone's in the pit lane. And
That's
it's the
Chris.
Mercedes driver. He's taking the gamble. Is Luca coming in? He's thinking about it. He's staying out. He's taking the risk.
Comes
He's taking a
in.
gamble. Oh, they're going for the gamble. Will it rain hard enough here at Singapore tonight?
Well, this is where the safety car is just going to be a help for these guys on the intermediates now, because safety car speed will have
Hang on
this
a
track
minute.
to get.
The rain is on the camera lens, so maybe, Mike, this could
Yep.
get intense towards the end.
Yep, this could get
Oh.
absolutely chaotic now towards the end, because you got Monkey on the very worn, hard tyres, who isn't going to have the grip of the soft runners in behind. And then you're going to have the likes of Volcano, Gaiden, Hinky, all on fresh softs in intermediate conditions. And obviously, this track does change quite rapidly, in my opinion.
Oh,
so, personally, I think we're going to see it in this very quickly.
I mean, having a look at the moment, the rain isn't heavy. Doesn't seem to be laying, does it?
Let's give it a moment. Give it a moment. That's all I'm going to say. Give it a moment. Let it cook. Let it marinate out there.
To be honest, you don't want to be monkey. You don't want to be on those hard tyres right now. The safety car's in this lap. Do we see a potential dominance on the intermediate tyres? Or is the rain just going to hold off a little bit longer? But I can see, is the track starting to get damp? I can't see anything just yet. So they've got to go around this track one more time. And Monkey's on the restart now. We'll just ride it on board a Monkey, as he'll be feathering the throttle, but it doesn't seem wet. It still seems dry. So maybe maybe the soft runners could be on something here, as Volcano got a really good exit there. And look at that. He's already going wheel to wheel Monkey and takes the lead of this race on lap number 30, the penultimate lap of this race. Volcano will just try to run away now because, you know, wet conditions, not a mix indeed.
Gaiden's not wasting time either. He's getting through.
Someone's off.
Volcano, 5 seconds, ignoring yellow flags.
Oh, that will definitely won't get removed, will it? Surely not.
Oh my god! I've just seen an absolute collision and a half. Monkey into the back of Hinky. Both of them tumbling down the order. My god, and that's why you don't get that close to a car on a straight, because something like that can happen. My god, it is absolutely kicked off at the end of this race. It's a double X esports podium now.
It's going in the X esports hands. And hang on a minute, the rain is setting on the track. The rain is setting.
It's intermediate time as Nathan and Chris have an opportunity here.
Now. They've got to go. That Ferrari's got to send it. They've got to go now. It's all but nothing. Free position. Oh, yeah, they're definitely struggling there. I'd tell you what, Monkey is struggling on those tyres. It's definitely Inters now. It's definitely Inters. And I think Volcano and Gaiten will be able to keep in the net, you know, lead of this race. And I've been told in the chat, Jamie is saying that apparently that 5-second time penalty will be removed. So we'll see what happens. But we'll take Jamie's word for it now. As, oh, look how much grip they've got. The Inters have so much grip than the soft tyres right now in the dry tyre compound. Everyone is crawling around the track. Just look at that, Mike. Just look at the difference. Look at the difference of tyres and gain right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Inters are just the tyre to be on right now.
Indeed. But we set our course to the top 3 for now, which is Fox in P3 and Volcano in P1 at the moment, with some hefty penalties coming his way in the race already. But we're being told by Jamie that it's going to get removed. So for now, we're going to take Jamie's word, and Volcano will win on track. But for provisional results, Gaiten would take the win, and Fox would take P2, and I think Wessel would take P3, but that would be provisional results, if you know what I mean. But it's then going to be a long discussion with the stewards for, you know, Jamie and, you know, CPI to show some evidence, you know, about what's going on with penalty wise, and see if they get removed. If they get it removed, the rain has stopped or hasn't stopped, as Volcano will come round, turn number 19 in treacherous wet conditions to take win on track, but Guyton will take victory today for now. As Volcano, not Volcano, sorry, Fox take P2, Man will take P3, Wessel will come with P5, Volcano will finish in 4th for now, but we'll see later on if the Stewarts can make any last decisions as they can. So we'll see what happens with that. And there you are, that's the race done and dusted. Under what it seems some, you know, interesting conditions, Mike. Interesting, shall we say.
I mean, that really did kick off towards the end. The Inters coming out to play definitely threw a spanner in the works, and that safety car, it just marinated lovely, didn't it? It just did. It bubbled up nicely, and we could have missed that if we didn't have so many safety cars.
That is very true, but there we are. It is Aston Martin, known as X Esports, that take victory here at Singapore today. Volcano finished 4th after his time penalties, but like I keep saying, and I'll let people know now, so don't get confused, or if you're a CPI fan, you're a bit annoyed, do not worry, these are only provisional results. So what I'm basically saying is even though Volcano finished 4th, he can get his penalties removed and reinstated to P1. But that'll be for a serious discussion and sort out. Over to you, Mike.
Also, big recovery from Luca up into P7 in the end.
Yes. So I think Luca will be very, very happy with that recovery indeed to P7 like you said right now. But X Esports, there you have it. There you have it, Mike. X Esports, they've done it.
Would you like me to run through the order one more time?
Take it away, my friend. Take it away.
So we got Guyton winning out on penalties provisionally for right now. Fox Blue alongside him. It's a 1-2 for X Esports. Manduka in the Mercedes rounding out the podium. Volcano in P4 with a potential again time penalties removed. Dust Wessel in P5. Wardwell in P6. Luca in P7. Casanova with the fastest lap in P8. Senna in P9. Cass in P10. Chris 11th, Henke, Nath, Cam Rules, Monkey, and then our two non-finishers, unfortunately, were of course Mango and Izad.
Yes, indeed. But, ladies and gentlemen, you have been fantastic today. Me and Mike, our voice boxes are probably broken after a crazy and fantastic race we had today at Singapore. I'll tell you what, Mike, I absolutely loved it. My first time doing commentating for this brand new track layout for Singapore, and it was absolutely awesome and fantastic. Massive, massive, massive shout out to our sponsors. If you don't know who our sponsors are, they do keep popping up on the stream whilst we're, you know, going through the race and keeping you all up to date with some awesome racing action and qualifying action. So massive, massive, massive shout out to the lovely Level Academy, Alfa Romeo, Pepsi Max, Next Level Racing, Intercomp, and last but least, Motorist Inc. I think that's how you say your name. And also, not to forget, Era and Monza Racing. And that's a lovely shout out to our sponsors. And also, something that's really, really, really handy to keep up to date with results for constructors and provisional podiums. Ultimate Masters, or Velocity Ultimate Masters, is the place for you guys to go on Twitter. All links are down below in the Twitch channel, so make sure to go and check it out there. Give us a follow on Twitter to keep up to date with everything. And we'll see you next week for France. But before we leave, Mike, let's have a quick rephrase and a refresh on what has just happened on tonight's race.
Honestly, it absolutely got turned on its head so many times. I mean, it looked very, very much like the Volcano was just going to win it. Absolutely no issues for him whatsoever. Guyton being the only person who really was able to put in the challenge for Volcano, but the penalties came out. Obviously, Jamie saying that the 3 second and the 5 second could potentially get removed, so he could still take a victory here. Yeah. But the penalties turning things on its head in this race, and then of course the final safety car. the wet weather beginning to fall with just a few laps to go. And I did say under safety car, look at how quick this track will go to Indus now. And
It was quite quick. I didn't believe you for a second, and then I thought, okay, this could get quite interesting. And all of a sudden, wow, it was wet. Completely wet on the track.
this is why you have to listen to a Welshman when he's talking about rain. I know what I'm talking about, trust me.
There we are. There we have it. But I guess we can move on to the calendar very, very, very quickly, as we can now tick off the lovely track of Singapore, known as Marina Bay Circuit. A lovely street circuit under the floodlights. Drama always with rain predicted half the time, in real life as well. But we move over to Francais, oui, baguette. Yes, we move to France. So, what are we thinking, Mike? For obviously Relentless and what's the name of the other one? X Esports. Obviously, X Esports will jump that team. Can they fight back though? What are you thinking?
I mean, Relentless have a chance. It's unfortunate the way that it's kind of gone for Relentless over this. Like, since the beginning of the season, impeccable. They were doing fantastic. They took the championship lead and it was well deserved. Middle part of the season, we saw CPI start to grow into the season, come into their own, and then they took over the championship lead, and they've gone leaps and bounds now ahead. And now we're seeing a late charge from X Esports because, I mean, provisionally as it stands, I mean, X Esports are walking away with 55 points, and
wow,
I believe CPI are walking away with 30 points provisionally, 31, sorry, because pole position for Volcano, but 31 points provisionally right now for CPI, and of course, nothing for Relentless. That means Relentless now, provisionally, 81 points behind CPI, and they are now, provisionally, off the top of my head, 24 points behind X Esports now.
Well, there you have it. Exciting things for France. And then after France, the final race of the season for Season 2 at Ultimate Masters will be Belgium. So, two very exciting high-speed circuits await for us next week and then the week after. But me and Mike are going to run away. So from me, Mr. Flynn, that is all for me. And Mike, from you, it's...
Oh, it's good night from me. It's good night from him. Good night.
Yes, good night indeed. See you guys next week. Peace.
They been on their ass, bitch, I'm on the rail. I wrap it, I bag it, I pack it for sale. Got feeling on speed out, hit me to chill. I give it a thrill, I put it on film. Niggas facade, get applaud, that ain't real. Come to my section and flex, we can tell. I got a show and she dipping them nails. I'm flipping my L's, I know they can tell. I did it too major, they hit me for favors. Been him since the cable was cut in the cradle. What's up, only right that I do it. Colossal until I'm a boss, so they want me to fail. Look, we prevail. Telling the point out who said that they run it. Bitch, I'm on your tail. Know that they talking, they telling them tales. It's not how to tell, that shit for the sale.
Honestly, I know it's hard to believe, but you have to trust me. It's got maximum taste and zero sugar.
Stop playing games, wooden boy.
No, I'm a real boy.
Pepsi Max. Maximum taste, zero sugar. Try and believe.
What do you see here? Maybe history, or maybe it's the future.
Amarti mi consola. Amami ancora. Fallo dolcemente. Un anno e mezzo, un'ora.
Tonali plug-in hybrid, a new charge of sportiness.